think I can see under here this part, and I reckon inside here it may need a clean. This is a bit that I didn't actually realise was here, but you can see you can put a spanner around that. I like that on its side. Cool screws. It unscrews from both sides to hold one side whilst you unscrew the other bit. Interestingly, there is a red O-ring in here, and it looks pretty clean. This is the out valve part anyway, so it's not a massive deal. Maybe just needs like a bit of wire wool or something. I think at this stage I'm not going to bother. Like I say, this is the waste anyway, but these little wipes I can push in quite easily. There hasn't really been anything come out of there. Try and scrunch it a bit tighter. The little O-ring inside there looks fine, to be honest. It's coming. It's a little bit dirty, but it's actually not that bad. It's in pretty good condition. So since I don't know which one it actually was, I might just put this back in. So I think I can just place this in here. So it just goes in there, like so. That's it. In there. I guess, can I test this? I mean, I thought, because that would be the front, I thought that it would sit more central. There isn't a basket on here though, is there? That's the one thing. I've got a blank basket with a basket on. There you go. That does fit about right there now. The next part of its makeover is this dispersion filter. Dispersion plate. It goes in that way, and I think will be these 2 bolts here. So that looks like a 5mm to me. There you go. Nice and shiny. I don't know how tight to do these. I think I'm just going to do them so they hold. So I've done them so that it touches until it kind of very loosely grabs, see? And then just a little bit more. I think I'll do that on both sides. We've got the shower screen next. The Nano Tech shower screen, I think it's called. I have seen some videos of these and the water flow doesn't seem to look as good, but I think apparently it is. It might not look as good when there's no portafilter in there and no coffee puck, but I think it is supposed to be better. I mean, that's the reason why I bought one, because I'm sure somebody said that it was better. So you put that inside there like that. Now this is something that needs to be taken off fairly regularly to clean behind. I think James Hoffman said, if you can wipe your finger along it on the other side of this and it's clean, then it's fine. But if there is some gunk on it, you need to clean more regularly. I think he was saying a minimum once a week, because essentially he's saying that if there was something stuck behind there, he would be able to taste it. I know he has probably insane taste buds, but his analogy was, if you have a frying pan, you wouldn't just leave that for a week and keep cooking everything on top of it. You would clean it. Try and transfer that over, squeeze a bit more onto here. Right, so I've done this. I'm going to tighten this back up in here. Yeah, so that feels a bit more cushioned, a bit softer, easier to use. I'm going to tighten this up on here. I think this is just hand tight, this one. And then this is 3D printed, but it's very tight. It is the correct one because I ordered it from Shades of Coffee themselves. And you can see it works, but it's like ridged on the inside, which is quite frustrating. But I think if I wiggle it about, I don't want to damage it, but wow! I might have to stanley it off, you know? I swear I put this on before. Need to kind of try and stretch it almost around. I don't want to take this off ever again. Oh, it's completely snapped now. That has completely snapped. That's pretty ridiculous. Right. I should have known that might happen. Go on now. So it kind of goes on now. Now that part of it's snapped off. But to be fair, that does actually fit really well. So maybe that's what it needed. Right. And then that would go on there. Oh yeah, cool. And we have this part. And I have to be honest, I don't know which way around it goes. I think, let's take this back. Oh, there we go. So it doesn't go in that way. Nope, there's no spring. Goes in with the thin part. So it's kind of like a milk bottle. Goes upside down. It goes in there and it's springy. That then goes onto there. And it's tightened. Give it a bit of a tighten. That's what that top bit looks like. And this part here goes on top of here, but there is this, right? So does that have to go over that first? I think this goes on there first, then. So obviously make sure that's in the threads correctly. I seem to have hit some resistance there. Then I'm going to take this part. There's a small hole that side and a big hole that side. Big hole at the bottom. Push that down like so. I think that it will go to the side like that. Yep. This has two holes on it. I think one that feeds from the boiler into it or something, and then one that feeds into the waste. These two red O-rings get pushed inside there. And there is a small washer and a bolt, like a nut that goes on top. I might not do that up too tight. What I will do next is, I think I will put this back on here, but I need to ensure that I put it on the right way. I think the rounded part is towards the back, like that. I can feel that silicon's on there actually, this new silicone ring, which is nice. Yeah, that is correct, yeah. So that's the correct way. And I have some brand new bolts from Amazon. These are stainless steel 316. Now, I watched Spidicate, he said to do it like screw that one in, screw that one in, screw that one in, screw that one in, I believe is the way to tighten it. These were so difficult to take off as well, and because they're not in contact with any water, I was considering putting a tiny bit of silicone, food safe silicone grease on these. The reason why you tighten this, then that one, then that one, then that one, in like diagonal from each other, is so that it seats evenly. Screw them in hand tight. I'm just touching. If you're wondering what size these screws are, these are M6 16mm. And I did just say about the silicone grease, and I haven't done that, so I'm just going to whack a little bit of silicone grease on these, just a tiny bit really. I'm just going to put it in a line, because I think if I put it in a line, it will spread around itself anyway when it's screwed in. I probably will crack this open again in like a year or so. I'm just hoping that this makes it a bit easier if I have to do it again. Okay, so each of these are in kind of hand tight up to here. I'm getting to there, and then I'm just notching it up a little bit. And I'll just go round, give them a bit more. If you can get a slightly smaller than this, I think this is 30mm, 150mm will probably suffice for this, even when it's inside the case, because it twists like quite a lot. If this was shorter, you'd get a little bit more leverage, I guess, with it. I have these parts already have grease on them. These, I believe, are both exactly the same as each other. So I'm just doing some editing this morning, and I've got to the bit where I start putting the thermostats on, and I'm talking about how they're exactly the same and they go on like this, but that is completely wrong. And you've got to be really careful here to put them on in the right order. So they both look very, very similar, but they both have slightly different writing on them. So one of them will say 107C, which means that it's rated to 107 degrees Celsius. The other one will have 145C on it, which means it's rated to 145 degrees Celsius. And the reason why why it's important for these is because the 107 degrees Celsius is the brew thermostat, and the 145C is the steam thermostat. If you get these the wrong way around, then it means when you turn your machine on, it will start heating up to 145 degrees Celsius, and then when you flick the steam, then it will already be at 145 degrees Celsius. So it will just turn off the boiler basically until it reaches 107 degrees Celsius, and you'll have no steam power, which is how I ended up realizing that I had them on the wrong way round. But there is also a more kind of sinister issue with this, and that is that you could end up blowing up your machine essentially because of the amount of pressure and the heat going through pipes that aren't designed for it. So make sure you do not get those the wrong way around. Same writing on, they look exactly the same. So these just screw into here. These don't need to be really tight. I think these are just hand tight.